It was 1993, and I had my Shock of the Hour CD. I never had the tape, just the CD. And I remember vaguely the first time I popped this into my Discman. I was in a high school trip. I don't know where I was going, but it was fucking rainy. We were going to the middle of nowhere. I was on this bus, and I popped this in, and this dark masterpiece just oozes into my ear holes. Man, I'm talking Shock of the Hour. It was like nothing I heard before. See, back in the day around this time, the world was in this G-Funk mode era. You know, Doggy Style took over the world. Warren G was killing the charts, and Above the Law had their own flavor of funk. And of course, you know, Eazy-E was out there doing it big. 93, baby. What a year. What a year. Even cocaine and, man, it was something different, man. The G-Funk era was here on full blast. But then this record comes out, Shock of the Hour. It's a dead serious buzzkill at first. And I just wondered, damn, Ren, why so serious, man? Why so serious, Ren? Because this was the Shock of the Hour. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you could peep another episode. As you know, one of my top favorite MCs in the world is the villain in black himself, MC Ren. I probably know all of his records, well, the first 4 by heart anyways, because I just bumped the shit out of them. They were always in rotation, and I just love those records. The villain himself, just so dope, man. So dope. And I was rotating these records like daily. Every day I was listening to one of his records. No joke, no joke. The Shock of the Hour record dropped, and it was just overshadowed by Doggy Style. I mean, who would have thought that this rapper from Long Beach would take over the planet? You know, who could have saw that coming? Nobody. So it stayed kind of buried under the radar for a lot of people. But looking back now, I can still say that this was a masterpiece. And I'll tell you why. In this review, we'll talk about the producers who chipped in, you know, the sound that they molded on this joint, you know, that post Dr. Dre sound, the features on here with one that'll blow your mind, and finally the lyrics. Man, did Ren come hard on this album. This is one of the hardest records ever dropped. So with all that being said, I want to just dive in and answer the question, why is this a masterpiece? Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe if you like the channel, you know, give us a like, whatever. I appreciate it. Let's get into some Shock of the Hour.
I want to get right to the point. He's unique. He's incomparable.
MC Ren is the killer of the grafted men. MC Ren is the killer of the grafted men. MC Ren is the killer of the grafted men. MC Ren is the killer of the grafted men. MC Ren is the killer of the grafted men. MC Ren is the killer of the grafted men. MC Ren is the killer of the grafted men.
All right, 1155, the intro song. Expect the unexpected. If you Google 1155, you'll see the meaning behind it. It's really crazy. It's like something about your twin flame and expecting the unexpected. Some real shit here. And who knows why Ren named his intro this, but this is something on a higher level. Never mind all that though. How about that beat? A crazy ass perfect introduction. Because it's not a song, but it's not something you skip either. That's the definition of an intro if you ask me. I love this beat. You know, we got Tootie on here who's just, you'll find that he does a lot on this record. And what Ren is writing here, his voice is kind of like deepened and stuff. It's cool, man. It's cool. So that's the intro. So far, we're off to a good start. It's a nice dark start. So then we get to the official start. Same old shit. You know, to me, this is another gloomy beat. It's produced by Tootie again. And we know he's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. And I was thrown off when I first heard it because I was so used to hearing Ren over like real hyped up beats, man. Kiss my black ass N.W.A, you know? This was different. MC Ren was stepping up lyrically, giving us a picture of a day in Compton. And it's a story of shady characters and just the hustle of a young G, you know? And there's a rare mention of Ren smoking weed. I don't know if that might have been the first time. I'm not really sure, but in 1993, weed was all the rage. So
This type of shit, it happens every day. This type of shit, it happens every day. This type of shit, it happens every day.
Same old shit every morning when I wake. I'm thinking of another bitch's money to take. I start to get dressed, yo, my bitch is still asleep. Go put the 9mm gun in the Jeep and let it warm up and fuck Marvin Gaye. I wish somebody would come out and have something to say. I take out my dick, beat my girl right away.
like I said, first song off to a great start. Then we get to Fuck What You Heard, where Ren moved into something a little more familiar. We still have like this dark beat, but it's closer to the Ren that we knew, the guy from Kiss My Black Ass. Lyrics real aggressive, flow is angry. This time it's Dr. Jam, who gives us the first taste of what him and Ren would actually keep doing for a few more years. It's crazy. Madness for Real steps in on All Bullshit Aside. Madness for Real, Dr. Jam, man, those guys are like a duo. So it's cool that they came in on this record, popped one track in, then the next track, they're both on it, All Bullshit Aside. I love it, man. They make classics. And so listening to side A here, this was side A here on the cassette. I can say that it's starting off with something dark, dope, and Ren is kind of in a new light though. It's like new, but it's an old take, it's an old take. Take the last song on this cassette. You Wanna Fuck Her. MC Ren at this point is one of the craziest when talking about hoes. And you remember behind the scenes and, Just Don't Bite It. That's Ren, man. That's Ren. Real crazy lyrics when it comes to this topic.
Bitch is a hoe, yo, I thought I'd let you know. The bitch is a stripper, but think she's a store. Still rides the bus, can't afford a fucking car. Try to be the shit, needs a foot up the ass. You stanky bitch, get a new bus pass. I see you all the time, getting kicks from hard dicks. Your pussy really stinks, who the fuck bought your drinks? In the club, waiting till 2, so you can have a nigga's dick shoved in you, yo.
It's catchy as fuck, and if you read between the lines, there's actually some good advice here from the OG Ren. Side A definitely doesn't have any skippers. We start dark, we end off on something a little more familiar, X-rated, but overall everything in between has been gangsta. Even though it's Ren in a different type of flavor, it's still that gangsta. It's a dark gangsta type of vibe I'm getting. It's a dope ass side A though. Let's move on to the second half of this. Side B, we got another hit single here, Mayday on the Front Line. This is the remix version, and the OG version was on that CB4 soundtrack with different lyrics even, and the beat sounds closer to something on Deep Cover or something. Dr. Dre, it sounds like something Dr. Dre did really. It was a Dr. Jam beat, and he did a new version on top of this, and it's such a trip because, to be honest, the lyrics, though they're cleaned up on the CB4 soundtrack, they actually sound pretty good, maybe even better than this version. You guys let me know what you think. Let me know what version you prefer in the comments, but I think they're both hella dope. You gotta listen to the comparison. Let's check it out.
Now it's time for the camouflage and all the G's I can fit in back of a Dodge. Time to go to war, but this ain't the Middle East. We're breaking fools up for revenge, forget peace. So if you see us, we're putting in work, so grab your gat and come along. We're about to do some dirt. Even if the black cops are down with them, my little homies from Compton, they're still gonna get them, cause it's Mayday on the front line. Now it's time for the camouflage and all the niggas I can fit in back of a Dodge. Time to go to war, but this ain't the Middle East. We're killing motherfuckers for revenge. Fuck peace. So if you see us, this is what you do. Grab a shit and come along. We're killing cops in blue. Even if the black cops are down with them, them sellout motherfuckers, yo, we're still gonna get them because it's Mayday on the front line.
So what do you think? That some rappers have their lyrics bleeped out and get lazy, but Ren almost made this a completely new song. And Ren going to war here, and for sure he's in his prime, man. He's just like boom, bar after bar after bar, and the hooks, all the sound effects. Like, this is an epic track. It didn't sound this epic originally on the CB4 one, but it still had something, it had that gutter sound. I liked it. I liked the simplicity of it. Even though it's clean, comparing it to this one is kind of like apples and oranges. Like I said, man, tell me in the comments which one you like better. With the exception of one song, the rest of this album gets into its apocalyptic tone. MC Ren with this new hardcore Islam attitude and menacing gangsta lyrics, makes a mind-blowing recipe and sound. And like I said at the start, gangsta rap was fun until this album showed up. Notable producer Rhythm D effortlessly drops an appropriate track for Ren to spit on here. Attack on Babylon. Rhythm D doesn't get the credit he deserves for dropping these gangsta sounds, especially sounds that align with what the project needs. If you think about Eazy-E, Bone, the dude is a genius. So this is the only Rhythm D beat on this album. And in fact, I think it's probably the only Rhythm D song that MC Ren ever spits to. So piece of history there for you. Then we get into MC Ren's more polarizing songs like Do You Believe? We get some Farrakhan sample here, so you know what flavor we're going to get. Ren goes full Muslim, I guess, calling these white devils and targeting even people his own color, practicing low-life shit he just don't like. He questions religious beliefs, and I should say that's unpolitically correct, as only Ren can be. But it forces you at least to think outside the box and to question things yourself.
If you see a nigga with a white hoe, beat his motherfucking ass. Remind the motherfucker of what happened in the past. Let me tell you something that I think you ought to know. These the same devils that came from voting 30 years ago. Then you got niggas that's blacker than the night, running around town saying they best friends are white. Niggas like that, we're gonna hang them from a tree and burn them up alive and let everybody see.
If it wasn't for Shock of the Hour, at the end of this album, you would think that this is where the record peaked. But this is one of those songs that you just have to hear at least once in your life. It's a great song. You got to check it out. And it's just like, damn, So let's get to the end then. The Shock of the Hour, the title track. Tootie on the beat. Layaway, if that's how you say his name. Layaway, I don't know. He starts off with some lyrics that would go over my head back in the day, probably even now. And obviously we're about to get schooled on some more of this apocalyptic gangsta-ish. Ren lays down his final verse here, the grand finale. It's unapologetic. It's not politically correct. It's on point, gangsta, vicious. It is the shock of the hour. But there's one more thing to talk about. The addition of Cam on this track. No surprises here, but Ren got the right man for the job. Cam is no stranger to racial, religious dimensions in his rap. He raps up the Ren record, and Ren gets his money's worth. This is what you bring him in for, and he does not disappoint. And this is how we exit the entire project, Shock of the Hour. Looking back, I think the world wasn't really ready for this one. No one saw it coming. In a year when we just wanted 40s and G-Funk, our music in a lighter mood, rappers like DJ Quick, Snoop Dogg, and Eazy-E delivered the G-Funk without consequence. The Shock of the Hour was like the morning after, A lot of stone cold topics brought by a competent gangsta, a higher way of thinking even. But if we take out the topics even, then this record is still solid. The music is dope. Tootie handled most of this record. And if you didn't know, Tootie is actually DJ Train's older brother. And him and Ren do a one and done project here. I wish they would have done more because I love the sound that they had. If you didn't know, Tootie also produced Ice Cube's Wicked track off the Predator album. So that gives you an idea of more of his work. And I don't know why they parted ways or just never worked together, but the next project Ren did was a different type of vibe, so I get it. It happens. It was in a different direction. All right, look, some albums don't need a review score because they're just legendary. This is that record. It's infamous and legendary all at the same time. It's the record that smacked us hard back in the day, the shock of the hour. And I'd love to know what your thoughts about this record were back in the day. Like, obviously for me, it holds up even to this day. Where were you when you first heard Shock of the Hour? And what did you think about it as your first listen? Sound off in the comments. MC Ren forever is going to be my top 3. And this record is a classic. Where does this rank in MC Ren's entire library. Is this his best record? Was it Villain in Black or Ruthless for Life? Sound off in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.